My name is Virtue. I am a science teacher. I will be glad if you subscribe to my channel.
Phishing. Phishing is a type of online attack in which fraudsters send emails to random user accounts with fake addresses and duplicate contents of trusted sources or services you use. It is a type of social engineering attack in which a trusted company or person is impersonated. The purpose of this attack, which is put forward with the combination of password and phishing, may be to obtain information in a very comprehensive way, including username and password information, Bitcoin wallet, credit card information, all your subscription data, program, game keys. Ransomware. The type of ransomware, which is from the Trojan horse virus class, demands earnings with payment systems known to be unmatched by anyone in order to undo the changes made on the infected computer. The most common form of transmission is either as a result of opening identity theft emails or visiting a website containing malicious programs. Malicious software, or shortly malware, is the general name given to software that has been prepared for the purposes of damaging computer systems, stealing information or disturbing users. Viruses, worms, Trojans, rootkits can be given as examples of these software. Although they are generally defined as software, sometimes they can be in simple codes. Malware, sometimes referred to as scumware, dirty software, can be written in almost any programming or script language and can be carried in many different file types. Virus, all devices serving malicious activities that can be hosted as complete software or adjacent code blocks on all devices with a software operating system, including computer, laptop, tablet, smartphone, smart television, IP, baby camera, security system devices. Main units. General nomenclature given to program structures. In fact, there are cases where handicaps can be created after production during firmware updates hosted as a hardware unit, namely ROM read-only memory on hardware, namely operating software in readable memory units, or unintentional activation of the user by making use of the awareness of both coding and hardware architecture gaps during production. A computer virus is malicious code that replicates itself by copying itself to another program, computer boot sector or document and changes the way a computer works. The virus can spread its infection without the knowledge and consent of someone, a user or a system administrator. Worms. Thanks to the network connection on your computer, the worm, which does not have to hide in any built-in file, can infect any computer over the network connection. The biggest difference is that it does not need any human action to reproduce. Before the widespread use of networks, computer worms, when mounted on a system, spread over storage media, infecting other storage devices connected to the victim system. USB drives are still a common vector for computer worms. Trojan horses. This virus, which is installed on your computer with a program, runs hidden in the background. One of the most insidious types of Trojan horse, for example, is a program that claims to save your computer from viruses but instead infects your computer with a Trojan horse. Usually, the Trojan horse is hidden in an innocent-looking email attachment or free download. When the user clicks on the email attachment or downloads the free program, the malware hidden in it is transferred to the user's computer device. Once inside, the malicious code can execute whatever the task the attacker has designed to perform. Polymorphic, multiple form, it changes itself with every contamination. Virus programs use predictive technology to prevent this virus. It is one of the most dangerous types of viruses. Polymorphic virus is a type of malware that has the ability to alter its capabilities or alter its underlying code without altering its basic functions or characteristics. Resident, this type of virus embeds itself in a system's memory. It does not need the original source code program to infect new files or applications. Even if the original virus program file is deleted, the version stored in memory can be activated when the operating system loads a particular application or function. Resident viruses are a serious problem because they can also get rid of antiviruses and anti-malware software by hiding in system RAM. Zombie, the living dead, harmful program parts or software that live like dead on the computer system it leaks. Coming from the West Indies, the term refers to someone who is said to be resurrected from the dead and lacks the automaton-like will to fulfill the will of the now living. In zombie systems, also known as bots, attackers often use multiple computers to create a botnet, also known as an army of zombies. Typically, a zombie unit owner can be a home-based computer or any type of device that houses a computer system, unaware that their computer is being exploited by an external party. Rootkit, it is a program or group of programs that secretly exists by hiding running processes, files or system information from the operating system. Its purpose is not to spread, but to hide its presence in the system it is in. Although it was previously developed and used in multi-user systems to hide the access of ordinary users to management programs and system information, it is also possible to encounter malicious use. Running a program believed to come from a reliable source with a high level of authority, such as root, causes a malicious rootkit to be installed on the system. Similarly, in a multi-user system, kernel versus using the vulnerabilities to gain root privileges and install rootkits is the most common form of infection. It is difficult to determine which files the rootkit actually changed, which module it loaded into the kernel, where it was registered in the file system, which network service it would take action by listening on the appropriate command. However, at certain times, methods such as storing the eigenvalues of the most basic commands and possible rootkit infection points and checking them later, etc. MBR virus infects computer memory and copies itself into the first sector of a storage device, master boot record, where the partition tables or operating system installation programs are located. MBR virus infects a certain part of the storage device instead of regular files. The easiest removal method is to clear the MBR space. Boot sector virus. Boot sector virus settles in the boot sector of hard disks. In addition, due to its structure, it can be placed in the computer memory. As soon as the computer is turned on, the virus in the boot sector is placed in memory. These types of viruses are very difficult to clean. Multipartite, segmented virus, it can be defined as a hybrid of boot and file, program viruses. It infects program files and is placed in boot records when the program is opened. It settles into memory the next time the computer starts up and then spreads to other programs on the disk. Blended threat, the attack initiated, spread and sustained in computer security with the combination of viruses, worms, trojans and malicious code. Blended threats attack from multiple locations, spread rapidly, be very damaging, and exploit most of the system's weaknesses. Backdoor is the process of creating an open in a system so that it can infiltrate from outside. It is software that usually opens some ports and enables its own manufacturer or other software to infiltrate the system. Trapdoors. Trapdoor is a new extended jargon for backdoor in the software space. A trapdoor is a hidden entry point for a program that allows someone to gain access to the system without going through normal security access procedures. A trapdoor is a trap communication software or hardware communication flaw that is hidden inside the software by the software developer of a system. It is possible for the person who placed the virus on the computer where this program is running or the computer where this hardware is located or who is aware of it, by overcoming the system protection by remote access method. A trapdoor is an entry point in a computing system that surrounds normal security measures. It is an electronic component that usually deactivates the protection system when a secret program or some undocumented orders are given to it. Moreover, the trapdoor can usually be activated by the realization of an event or by a normal movement. A trapdoor can also be a security hole in a system deliberately set up by its creators or maintainers. Exploit, the method of finding vulnerabilities of operating systems and some programs and exploiting these vulnerabilities is called exploit. With exploits, system passwords can be viewed and information about systems can be obtained. Exploits prevent the system from working normally, and by sending code from outside to the system, they convince the system that the system is working normally and are often used for unauthorized access. Logic bomb. Logic bombs are virus programs placed in any program. If certain conditions are met, they damage the system by exploding, starting to work. Bombs can erase all files and information or crash the operating system. Spyware. Spyware, while surfing the internet, it sends the visited sites, the contents of these sites, to the producers of the frequently used programs over the internet. Clicking on trap windows while surfing the internet is installed on the computer. Adware, they do not only use information about the user, but also change their browser settings. If you come across advertisements that you cannot understand and the home page of your browser is set to a page you do not want, it means that you have been infected with an adware virus. Macro. These are viruses with macros that infect files with computer applications and computer programs. These viruses especially target macro language commands in Office applications such as Microsoft Word and Excel. In Word, macros are sequences recorded for commands or keystrokes embedded in documents. Macro viruses can insert their malicious code into legitimate macro sequences in a Word file. As macro viruses have seen a resurgence in recent years, Microsoft added new features to Office applications in 2016 that allow security administrators to choose to use macros only for reliable workflows, as well as completely block macros in an organization. Keylogger, key recording. Keylogger usually starts to work unnoticed after performing its own installation on the remote computer and transmits the recorded data to the hacker at programmed intervals. Usually it buffers and transfers all keyboard movements to its buffer. Keyloggers are simply programs that record every stroke you make from the keyboard and send these records to people who want to steal your personal information. In this way, your vital information such as your email password, credit card number can be stolen. Screen logger, screen recording, it is based on the same basic logic as the keylogger. At the same time as you click a point on the screen with the mouse, the screen logger takes the current picture of almost the whole or a small part of the screen, usually a small square centered on the mouse, and transmits them to a fixed address on the internet. Spam, bulk messages, spam, unnecessary or inappropriate messages sent to multiple recipients simultaneously in electronic media such as email, telephone, fax. The most common types of spam are ads and postings. Electronic mail, email, is one of the oldest and still indispensable communication tools of the internet. Email is the electronic version of the physical, conventional mail receiving or sending, and it is a low-cost and fast transmitted structure over the internet. Requirements such as security and authentication have not been taken into consideration, and therefore email infrastructure causes the biggest problems of the internet today. Dialer, phone dialer. It is a method of making money from your phone bill by infiltrating the system and making a paid phone call abroad without your permission when dialed phone connection is made. The user who is caught in the dialer may encounter an unexpected phone bill. Free MP3, free program. Clicking on the crack links, clicking here or OK buttons and running the Java program on the site will pull your system into the trap. Although you try to close, it invites you to open again and again. Cross-site scripting, XSS. Attacks are a type of injection in which malicious scripts are injected into benign and trustworthy websites. XSS attacks occur when an attacker uses a web application to send malicious code to a different end user, often using browser-side scripting form. An attacker could exploit the XSS vulnerability by taking advantage of the form to send a malicious script to an unsuspecting user. It is not possible for the end user's browser to know that the script should not be trusted and executes the script. Because it thinks the script is from a trusted source, the malicious script can access any cookies, session tokens, or other sensitive information held by the browser and used on this site. These scripts can even rewrite the content of the HTML page. Browser Hijacker. Browser Hijacker is a small program or registry setting that is placed in your web browser by some websites in order to increase the number of visits to its pages and to ensure that the advertisements on their websites reach high display numbers, that can change the start pages and search pages. If your internet search pages or homepage changes in a way that you do not want, you probably have such a hijacker program on your computer, tracking cookies, the sites you visit on the internet, etc. They are simple text files that contain data about the data and are located in the cookie folder on your computer. Many sites also use cookies to get information about their visitors. For example, on a site you vote in the poll and each user has one vote. This website can prevent you from voting a second time by checking your cookie information. However, cookies can also be used by malicious people. This type of cookie, called a tracking cookie, keeps track of all the transactions and pages visited on the internet on the infected computer. Hackers can access credit card and bank account information this way. Denial of service attack. The basic idea that Trojans are based on is to increase the internet traffic on the victim's computer in a way that prevents it from reaching a website or downloading files. Another version of the denial of service attack is the mail bomb Trojan horses, whose main purpose is to infect as many machines as possible and to attack certain email addresses with various objects and contents that cannot be filtered at the same time. Polar virus. Polar can be correctly identified as a stop-DJVU ransomware type infection. Polar ransomware is a specific type of virus that encrypts your documents and then forces you to pay to restore them. The JVU, stop ransomware family was first discovered by virus analyst Michael Gillespie II. Polar is basically similar to the same family, Polar, WBXD, COOS. Polar has encrypted all popular file types. Therefore, users cannot use their own documents or photos. Polar adds the custom Polar extension to all files. For example, the video.avi file will be changed to video.avi.polar. As soon as the encryption is successfully completed, Polar creates a special _readme.txt file and puts it in all folders containing the modified files.
Thank you for listening to me.